Hi, folks. Welcome back to Racin-n-Braisin. I am CJ. It is Monday, and we are going to dive into a recap of what we saw this weekend at the Rock. But before we dive into that, I want to jump on the big news of the day. It was announced earlier today that the championship weekend in 2026 will return to Miami Homestead Speedway. This will be the final year of Phoenix as the regular finale. In the announcement that was made today, it was also mentioned that 2027 does not have a location secured yet. NASCAR is still working with their playoff development teams that is looking into reworks of the playoff system. So we should be hearing some big changes here probably at the end of the season. I don't suspect any announcements for the changes to the playoff format until much later this season. But to hear that the championship race location will move for 2026 and will move again for 2027 is fantastic. It sounds like NASCAR is finally breaking down the walls and listening to the fans, the drivers, the owners. All sorts of people have been clamoring for something like this to happen. So that's the big news. We've got it out of the way. Let's jump back to earlier this weekend and talk about what we saw at Rockingham Raceway. Yes, the triumphant return of the NASCAR Series to Rockingham occurred this past weekend with the Trucks and Xfinity Series getting back on track there. It was great to see it. So let's dive into the truck race. Definitely had that old school feel. I think that if you were to put a side by side of a video from back in the late 90s, early 2000s when the trucks were last there compared to what we saw this past weekend, it probably looked exactly the same. Aside from maybe a different color in the track surface, the racing itself looked exactly like that old school Rockingham feel. The trucks were hard to drive. Track was slick, sliding all over the place. It was a handful and a very challenging track. There was a really good fuel mileage battle and a long green flag run to the end. It was a fantastic truck race, in my opinion, and I'm definitely looking forward to trucks going back there next season. The Xfinity race, I was working on Saturday, so I didn't get a chance to watch it live, and I purposefully put off watching it until Sunday while I was cooking that fantastic ham roll that I hope all of you guys watched the how-to video on. So I watched the Xfinity race during that and caught the replay on the CW app, which allowed me to enjoy the broadcast with Adam Alexander and Jamie Mack and Parker Kligerman. That's a fantastic trio in the booth right there. Race itself, I thought was fantastic, especially in the second stage. The battle between Quapple in the 1 and Jesse Love in the 2 for the lead for several laps, a good 20 to 30 laps. Great racing. Kind of devolved a little bit in stage 3. It got a little bit messy, but I don't think it was like embarrassingly messy like it was in Martinsville. It was just guys on a really tough track, driving really hard for a win. And there were a lot of cautions, especially there at the end. But I thought the end of the race was pretty good nonetheless. And the race as a whole was really good. Again, definitely had that old school feel to it. The intro that Mark Martin was giving during the broadcast summed it up perfectly. And it definitely felt like you were at a cup race from the late 90s. But Sunday we got that unfortunate news for Jesse Love that he was DQ'd from the win, and the win instead went to Sammy Smith. The weekend at the Rock was fantastic. I thought that the trucks and the Xfinity Series did a great job. My initial reaction on Friday after watching the truck race was like, yes, let's get the Cup Series here as quick as possible. I'm jazzed up for it. I'm pumped. I think that would be a good fit. That was my reaction Friday night. But then I watched the Xfinity race on Sunday and then caught up on a couple of reactions and talked about the race with my mom. I brought up how I thought that Cup should go back, and there's some pushback to that. I am a stubborn person, but I've grown way more patient over the years and more open minded. So I started listening to what the arguments were against Cup Series going there, and I think there's some very good arguments to that. First off, the Cup Series would just have too much grip for the brand new surface there at Rockingham. Those cars would not slide around as well as what the Xfinity and the Truck Series did. Second, there's really only one good groove of racing on Rockingham. There's not two or three good grooves, and that just does not bode well for the next gen Cup cars. So maybe I should temper my excitement about the Cup Series returning to Rockingham, and maybe that should be a couple years off until the next gen car gets, I don't know, developed a little bit better. But that's kind of where my mind shifted to throughout the weekend. To all of those that are excited about the return of the Rock, myself included, this was a great weekend to have that nostalgic feel and that nostalgic vibe of old school NASCAR that I grew up watching. But yes, we should all temper our excitement and try to think rationally about what the next step is for Rockingham in the future. So that's really all I have got for you guys here on this Monday recap edition of what we saw this past weekend. Next week is Talladega, and next week, guys, is my birthday. So great weekend for racing for me because awesome track and my birthday. So we're going to do something special. I'll probably do a special Sunday birthday edition video for you guys. But definitely keep an eye out for Thursday's video where I do a preview of the Talladega race weekend. We talk about schedule, we talk about who's hot, who's not, what to expect, what we're looking for, and maybe give some thoughts about what my pick is going to be for the upcoming weekend. So tune in, guys, Thursday night. Keep an eye out for that next video. Like, subscribe, and comment below. I would love to know what you guys thought of my cooking video yesterday, where I made the ham rolls and took you through how I make biscuit dough. Comment below for me, please. Let me know what you guys thought about. Let me know if you'd like to see more videos like that, or maybe tweak a couple things here. I'm always open to suggestions. Until Thursday night, guys, I hope you all have had a great weekend, a great start to your week, and enjoy the rest of it coming up. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks a lot.